Hi everyone, my name is Javi and I can draw. Welcome to a new video. This time we're going to try to figure out the male torso. So follow me. Okay, so here I am. If you've seen the last video where I recommended the best tutorials, you will see that I recommended one that was by Broco that started explaining how you can synthesize the shape of the torso by doing like this bean-like shape. Now I did these 3 beans that they're not so much random as I was going to do them. I thought about them just a bit. And now I'm going to try to elaborate them until we have a torso developed. So the first thing that I would do, and this is just something I do, I don't know if like Proco recommends it or not, but I would divide this in 2 boxes, one for the ribcage and one for the hip. Now I would do a box that is just like this. This is for the ribcage. The ribcage would be something like kinda like this. And then I would do one for the hip. Now chances of this being proportional are very slim because I wasn't actually thinking about that when I drew the beans. I actually think that that is something that might be a bit wrong about this technique, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I have like this here. Now we're going to do one like, oh, where would this one be? Trying to do something like this maybe? Let's see. Okay, so a box. And then a box here. Now this would be like bent like this. Is this a position that a person can have? Okay, I might have to think about this bean thing a little bit more. Or maybe when you're doing it in the context of the whole human body, it works a lot more. Now, maybe just by itself, it's hard to get a grasp if this like twisting and turning make any sense. Now I'm going to do this last one, like her. This is going to be the side of the bean. So the ribcage would be something like this. And this part is going to be something like this. It's going to be twisted just a bit. Let's see. I'm going to twist it just a bit more so we can use the abs just a bit. Okay, so 2 boxes, kind of boxes. I drew some guideline for the ribcage. But I don't know how useful that is going to be, or maybe it is a lot because the ribcage has that shape and that is, well, pretty important. Now let's focus on the muscle groups that we saw on the tutorials as well. So the first one would be the pectorals. Now the thing about the pecs is that they are actually linked to the arms. So I'm going to draw just some small balls here next to the cubes to symbolize where the shoulders would be. Because if the arm comes like something like this, then the pec gets attached to it like this. It goes to the center of the ribcage, and then this one gets attached like this as well. Now they go this way. You may not notice that, like they come from below this part up to here, and you may not notice that because the shoulder muscle kinda covers that. So if I'm going to do the shoulder, I may need to do the shoulder here. It goes like something like this as the most basic shape, and that's why you see this as just one big mass and you don't see the pec coming down this way. Now they have a small volume here if you have really well developed pectorals, not like me and, well, not like me. So if we're going to do the same thing here, following the box, it's following this here. I'm going to simplify it just a bit more. It's all coming down here. Some big depression here. And here from the side, well, this is a bit more challenging, I guess. this is it, like with the shoulder muscles coming to cover this part. It is. Sometimes you can even see, like on this part where it separates, what the pectoral muscle separates from the clavicle. Depending on the body type that you have, you can actually see that. So, well, if you pay attention to people that are super skinny, you can actually see that. Now, I'm going to choose some other color, like I don't know, like this kind of orangey, and I'm going to start focusing on the second most important muscle group that you're going to draw here. That are the abs. Like the pecs and the abs are the two muscle groups here that have like the best marketing team. And so, well, basically, you know that they come down this way. It's as simple as that. So we're going to draw the most simple version of this. In this particular case, since when you are bending over, you start using them. Here, I can do that like this stretch shape here. So I will have to start like, well, thinking about how the abdominal muscles are being used. But, well, you can kind of reduce it to this anyway. Maybe I could have gone simpler. Let me see. Maybe there's just no need to. Well, yeah, if you're going to do it this way, you can just do this simple shape, and then we can focus on the bulges of the abdominal muscles. And in this particular case, it comes here. Now, the third muscle group, now I'm going to be honest with you, in the tutorials that I've shown you, there is a mention of a muscle group that goes this way, goes up this way, but I don't actually believe that that is the most important muscle group that we should be focusing on after the pectorals and the abs. What I think that we should be focusing on are actually, well, see, when I'm usually drawing the human figure, I tend to draw this type of like, you know, like slip, like this kind of tidy whiteys here. Try to get this underwear kind of shaped for this part. This helps me know when the leg begins, because the leg will begin like somewhere around here, and it also helps me know where the hip bones are going to be. So they're going to be somewhere around here. Now, the muscle group that I want to talk about is actually the obliques. And that muscle group, it comes from below. It is also attached to the same place as the abs. It is an abdominal part of the abdominal muscles as well. And it goes like this way. Now when you're getting fat, all of that muscle gets covered by fat. And when you are slim, you can actually see that, like apparently ladies love it. Or something. I don't know, I never had them. So you will have, excuse me, what I was saying is that you have these two muscles on each side, and they go all the way to the back. Actually, the muscles are these kind of bulges here, and all of this part that I'm drawing right now is just tendon. And those are the muscles that help you spin. If you need to spin, you're going to be using those muscles. Now, let's go back to the abs a bit. Let's start working them just a bit. As you probably already know, it's actually these muscles are groups, are divided in 8, like 1, 2, 3, and the fourth is just really down there. Same here, and well, same here. Now, this group is like, I don't know how to explain it. No, actually, I know exactly how to explain it. Look at my finger. What they do, each bulge is like each of the phalanxes on your finger. So as they compress, they get a little bit bulkier, just like this, because they're actually, well, compressing to pull you. If it were just one muscle, there wouldn't be much range of motion, but since you have several of those abs, you have a lot more range of motion and new ones when you're moving. So let's go with, like, in this particular case they should be stretched, so you can do them bulky if you're going to be doing like this super muscular type of superhero thing. But if you're not, it's better if you just keep them just a bit stretched and then go bulky in this type of postures where, for example, here the abs should be being used because the ribcage is going forward, and that means that you're using your abs to bring it forward. And the more you lean forward, the more of the muscles that you're using. Like if you really want to work out these muscles, the lower abdominals, you have to lift your legs a lot and lift your hip. And if you want to bring your ribcage down, like when you're doing sit-ups, you bring it up, you bring your ribcage up, and you're using mainly this too. So here we have, for example, now the shape that you bring into is just a bit forward to the ribcage. Now, here is where I get the tricky part, because this is the part that I don't know that much, and by that much, I mean I barely know it. And it's about this part. Like, I know that this is dorsal muscle. We've seen the dorsal muscle in the shoulder videos, because it is actually one of the muscles that brings your arm down. So I used that lesson to talk about it. Now, just beneath the dorsal muscle that I'm just quickly drawing here. Just beneath that muscle, there is another muscle that has this shape. I can't remember the name. I'm so bad trying to remember the name of the muscles. I'm sorry. But that has this kind of shape. And it is sort of like divided in 4 or 5 muscles that come this way, and they get intertwined with the ribcage. Kinda like this. And then, so when you're drawing them, if you really want to, like, you have to do this. You always see this in comic books, like they do this kind of thing here. And then they keep following the ribs, like individually. And from this side, it just gets a little more confusing. And I've been practicing this for a while now, but body types are so different that when I tried to do like just one, I was like, oh, this is going to look good. I used reference and I couldn't find just one that felt like it was universal. So this is very, very changing. And let me see what else. Well, in this particular case, it would be something like around here. You see, this is a very, very simplified way of doing this. But just remember, like, this line that follows from this. You have this. And, well, let me see how it looks. It looks like it could use some work. I know that I still have like some things to learn about this. There are like this particular space, for example, all of this. I know that there is actually some muscles that come this way, but those are not muscles that you actually see in reality. Like, you don't see this. This is very complicated to see. It's there, sure, but do you actually see it? Like, there's more chance that you're going to see like this bulk of the ribcage bouncing from this. Actually, they can go just a bit more up. But that's pretty much it. I don't think that you see this a lot, unless you're like a bodybuilder or something. So, well, what are your conclusions regarding this? Because I'm thinking about it right now, and what I believe is that, well, the bean shape works. What it needs to do is that it needs to work in a context, and by that I mean that you kind of need to do some gesture drawing first and try to get the overall shape and movement that you're trying to do. And once you get that, you can start working on the bean and then the boxes and then just trying to do the muscle groups. And I know that these are not the best torsos you've seen, but well, they're pretty good. So tomorrow I'm going to be focusing on the hips, because especially I want to focus on the female shape because it looks nothing like this. And then, well, the next video is going to be also about the female shape, because it's going to be mainly breasts. Now you see, well, here the male torso is pretty much covered up, but I'm going to be focusing on the difference between one and the other on the next video. So if you want to see that and you want to get notified, remember to subscribe, press the little red button below, and like, share. If you want to give me comments or corrections, I'm all up for it. I'm always trying to learn and getting better. That's it for today. My name is Javi and I can draw, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!